And we have it back onto the wood chipper. Choke. Well, that was easy. And we're back. Engine's out. When I turn over the key, I suspected something was wrong when I was running it. My guess is one of the plastic gears is either disintegrated or chipped or smashed, because when you turn it over there's a click click sound, and this guy here, when you turn over the starter, it goes like this. So I feel like something in the back end is wrong. So I've been all over it, and my timing marks still line up. If you spin this, it looks like this is like it's out of round somehow. Just focus on the one edge. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it seems like it's more, or maybe that's the cause, reason. I don't know, but I'm gonna say this is suspect, and I think we're gonna replace this guy. Oiler gear seems fine. Gam gear seems fine. I'm going to replace, yeah, so the plan of attack is replace this guy. It does look like different plastic than the other ones, so maybe it's already a replacement? I don't know. And then I'm going to button up the engine again, check the valve gaps again, adjust the valves. So I got the old one off. It's a bit of a pain to figure out how they came off. Can't find anything online, but ended up just wrapping a rag around this push rod here and giving it a good yank. It's held on by this split ring. It's buried underneath. So this here goes on, you put the split ring on, and then, or you put it all together. I'm not sure. I probably actually, you push it on as you put everything else on. Probably the easiest way to go about it. But yeah, they look identical. We'll make sure we lube it all up. Seems to spin without wobbling. Let's see this way. Oh yeah, we got a lot more wobble in this. So let's do that again. Just a wee bit. I think that's more. Okay, we're going to replace that part. So, got the back cover on. It went a lot easier this time. Partially because I think the rear casing here is worn into the new crank. So, going to put fresh oil in it. I don't think I'm going to change the oil filter. Not until I run it a little bit more, but I think I will put fresh oil in. I'll just have to tighten up the exhaust screws and put a battery to it and see if that fixed our issue. I'm pretty sure it has, because looking at the governor gear again, let's see if we can get it to focus. I don't know if you can tell, but on the top there, the metal's worn away, so there's no ridge. The bottom you can see, I think you can see that. See if we can, yeah, that might help. You can see a little bit of a metal lip there, whereas the top, there's no lip. There, I think that shows it best. So I think that's what the issue was. This was definitely not round. I dove in again. I was going to adjust the valves and then realized that, what's this? What's that? It's rubbing. Then realized that this was just on finger tight. We got a little bit of metal shards there. So someone did not tighten this down enough. Arg. So just just going to take this off, make sure that I didn't shear the flywheel key. I threw it on the battery already, and no more governor surging. So we have solved that issue. So actually, multiple issues here. So I'm going to adjust the valves, adjust this gap too now. Still shiny. And tighten that down better. Spectre, oh yeah. Our flywheel key has left the chat. Oops. Well, that's my fault, that's for sure. So I think we're going to, I might actually have another one of those. Let me check my spare bolts from the other engine, but other than that, these guys all seem intact. Just got to clean out this dirt, clean out metal, blow that all out. Figuring out what we're going to do with that key. Put it back together. We got things mostly cleaned up. I found another key. I think it might be from a Honda. I think it came with a spare parts bag from this spare extra crank. So kind of missed it, but I have it back together. A little bit of a, I wouldn't say tense moment, but you definitely had to work quick. I used this putty, this epoxy putty to fill it in. It has a 5-minute set time, so I kind of just packed it all into that gap as much as I could, put it in, got the flywheel in situ, and then toss the nut on there, put some Loctite on it so it don't come loose again, and hopefully that's it. Use the putty over this stuff here, because although this is a longer set time, I don't know how liquidy it is, and I think that's going to work. It really just has to hold the flywheel in place, and the key is just to keep the timing right. There shouldn't be any stress on that unless it comes loose. So it's torqued down nice and tight, so hopefully don't go nowhere. Right now I'm just tightening up my ignition coils again, having a little bit of a gap there. And then put the shield, front of the shield on. And then I'm going to leave this off because I'm going to adjust the double check those valve clearances first. So I got the proper gauge now. I do not have, you can get special wrench to hold the top of that, I don't know what that's called. Basically you loosen this nut, you turn this in by a little bit by hand, you tighten it, and you check. So this side is 0.08 millimeters plus or minus 0.02, something like that. And this is 0.1 millimeters plus or minus 0.02. So I have a 0.102 and a 0.127. So this one here for sure shouldn't fit. And it doesn't. This one here should fit. It's a little bit tight, but it fits. So we know that that one there is 0.102 or very close, at least within our tolerances. You can always wiggle things around to make sure that you're not in a bound spot. So this side is done. I have to do this side, but you can just see how much, oh, that's, you gotta line up the timing mark. So this side here is for this cylinder. There's a little divot that lines up, and then this side here, I'll have to bring it around until it meets that mark again. Probably have to make 2 revolutions so both sides are open and not one side, one valve is closed, the other side's open. But that's a 4-cycle engine. But yeah, very little play. I'll roll it around twice here. Check here. That's loose. Okay, they're both loose. So we only need to do it once then, I guess. And we'll adjust this side. Then I'll roll the engine over a few times and then double check both sides again. And after that, front cover on, valve covers on, and we should be good to go again. Turn it over a couple times. And point 1 goes through, but 0.127 does not. 0.102 doesn't go through, but 0.076 does. And I've done it over the engine over a couple of cycles and rechecked, and both sides are good. And we have it back onto the wood chipper. Choke. Well, that was easy. Oh, a little bit more throttle maybe. I think maybe we have to adjust the throttle down the road. That sounds really good. The governor's working good. Sounds like a way happier engine. Way happier, that's for sure. And now we come to the source of the problem. It's hot out today, and I looked underneath, and we're dripping fuel. So, that is probably what started it all. Somehow, when it heats up, something's happening that causes this to have gas from the fuel tank drain into the carburetor, and then drain outside, and drain, probably, my guess is the crankcase is full too. Yeah, you can't see an oil mark, so it's probably all full of gas in the crankcase again. Yeah. Well, there's a culprit. You can see down there. Actually, this almost looks cracked. We're leaking out of there, that's for sure. So, this was the culprit all along. This is why the crankshaft burnt up. This is why the crankcase burnt up. This is why we tore this engine all apart in the first place. So, maybe it's, I don't think it's a loose fitting. Anyways, I'll tear it apart a little bit more.